So what we've had, guys, over here is a 93-year-old woman with a walker. Now, my mum's 91. I'm going to go and visit her this afternoon, okay? And I can assure you that my mum at 90, with her walker, okay, has trouble just coordinating her way around the lounge room, okay, let alone going outside down the ramp or whatever. But in a place called Cooma here in Australia, the police decided, oh, well, actually, an employee of the nursing home decided he couldn't disarm a 93-year-old lady who had a steak knife. So they rang the police. So the police come in and they found out they couldn't disarm. They're one hell of a frigging lady, this. The police found out they couldn't disarm a lady with a steak knife and pushing a walker. So she's got two hands on a walker or one hand on a walker, and she's a bit upset and she's got a knife in her hand. Okay, fair point. And we had to taser her twice, guys. Taser her twice to get the knife off her. Now, with what went in the paper yesterday and with a couple of little things we've seen, what they're doing is they're trying to push us over here. They want us to react. They know they are in trouble. Okay, so the only thing they've got now is to get us people that pissed off that we're going to come at them. But guess what, guys? It ain't going to work. We'll pray for the 93-year-old lady. If she dies, she'll rest in peace. She'll be another loss to this war. This should never have happened, but we will hold her in high esteem, guys. All right? And this is what they don't understand. Okay, we are not scared here in Australia, not the people like me and Bozian, right, that are trying to run this race, or not run this race, but trying to keep the people in a place where when we finally hit the tipping point, we're all right to go. All right, and it's been a very hard war, but this is what they're doing to us in Australia now, I believe, and Rick can verify if he thinks it's the same, but they're trying to push us to the edge, guys, where we go, enough's enough, we're coming for you. And once we do that, we're in trouble. So
yep.
I think, yeah.
No, you've not. Yeah, no, that's a good take on it, David, because that's exactly what they're trying to do. They've been trying to provoke us since this thing started. You know, because I'm ex-army. You know, apparently we're all right-wing loons, and we're going to pull out our guns and start removing people from the planet. That was never our intention. We have been very clear from the very beginning that we want an electoral, peaceful solution, because we know that a civil war of any dimension, and the US suffers from this to this day. A civil war of any dimension is a wound that never heals, and that's not what we need. We just don't need it. The second point is, are there men in this country with the means to take kinetic action? You bet. Are we going to do it? Absolutely not, because we're smarter than that, and they're just prodding the bear, but we are much smarter than that. But let me give you another little line on this. The event may or may not have actually taken place. This could be complete fabrication. There could be a complete fabrication in order to provoke a response. I'm not taking sides on whether it's a real story or not. Not that it really matters, because Dave's picked up the reason for the story to try to generate a response. And when something like this happens in the media, it's always prudent. You sit back and say, well, you don't know exactly what the circumstances were. You weren't there. Have you ever been confronted with somebody with a knife, 95, 93-year-old woman in a Zimmer frame? Doesn't appear to be a threat, but she might have had the knife to her own throat. You know, so you've got to be careful. So it's prudent to sit back. On the other hand, maybe you've disarmed somebody with a knife before and you realize how quick and easy it is. And I'll tell you a story. Not that I've told this story before, but back in 1984, 85, I was a recruit platoon commander down at the 1st Recruit Training Battalion in Wagga Wagga in New South Wales. And that's where the kids come in. You know, 48 at a time, long hair, bad attitudes. 12 weeks later, they march out men ready to get trained up in the art of war. Anyway, I'm sitting down in my office. I'm a young lieutenant. I'm sitting down in my office, and the corporals come running down. Sir, what's up? Oh, recruit Bloggs. He's in his room with his bayonet, and he's threatening everybody. So there's a hard 18-year-old with a bayonet in his hand, and I just walked upstairs, and I started chatting to him. And as you do, you always lower the temperature in these situations. Have a chat. Moved quickly, took the knife out of his hand, gave it to the corporal, and told the corporals to take the digger down to the regimental aid post, which is where the doctors live in the Australian system, regimental aid post to check him out. Now, we never saw him again, and that's probably a good thing. But the point is, ladies and gentlemen, our New South Wales police force, and this is the focus I want everyone to take. Everyone focus on our Commissioner Karen, this imbecile called Commissioner Karen something or other, and she doesn't actually run the police force. The Masonic filth do, and all the ACs, all the assistant commissioners actually run the show. But they like throwing women up to give it a soft and cuddly feel, because women apparently are soft and cuddly. Well, I've been married 3 times. I can tell you not all women are soft and cuddly. Anyway, sidebar comment. And so we've got this New South Wales police force. And I tell you what, it would be brilliant. If I was the police, the Minister for Police, I'd be saying, right, Commissioner Karen, you're sacked, and everyone down the chain of command, the AC and everyone down the bottom, you're all sacked. You're off to the side because you are imbeciles. You are such idiots that you can't train a group of men and women to hold the peace. Now, here's the interesting part. They will tase a 90-something-year-old woman with a knife. Oh, carving knife. Oh, my God. Dear me, that's dangerous. We're walking a Zimmer frame. They can't find any pedophiles. They can't find any corrupt judges. They can't take out the mafia. Oh, the mafia got guns. That's a bit scary. So let's go tase a little old lady. The New South Wales police force should be ashamed of itself. And even the good coppers out there, of which there are many, and I understand that, but every one of you has a massive job to rehabilitate your reputation in the minds of the people. Because as far as we're concerned, you're scum. Because you're either tasing little old ladies or your silence condemns you. So the point of this story is, no, we're not going to retaliate because we're never going to retaliate. And if we were going to, you wouldn't see it coming, ladies and gentlemen. But we're not going to because we need a peaceful and electoral solution. But if you want to take away from this story, it's the fact that the New South Wales police are scum. They can't take out the real crims. No, I can't touch them. Absolutely not. But they'll hit little old ladies. And it's almost like, as Dave said, that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to get us energized to respond. Oh, we'll respond. But it'll be in a court of law. And every one of them has been found guilty of things like treason because they took an oath to a secret society rather than the country and the people. They'll be swinging by their necks till they're dead. And we'll take our revenge that way. So, yeah, I think you're right, Dave. They tried it on, but it's a pathetic attempt. I just hope it's a fabricated story and there isn't some lovely old deer up there that's actually in danger.
And just to reiterate, where they